headline from Business Insider, and boy, oh boy, I got to tell you, there's very few headlines that I read that I get excited about. Primarily because people in the news, they're trained to write fear-mongering headlines to get you to click. So I just am a positive person. I hate fear-mongering. I hate negativity. And so there's very few headlines, Alex, that I read where I go, all right, this is kind of exciting. I saw this headline, and I started the slow clap. So here we go. This is a Business Insider article. This is the headline. Gen Z, and for those of you who don't know what Gen Z is, they are the generation below millennials. So they are in their, the oldest of Gen Z, I want to say, is in the 24 range, maybe 25. And so then into high school. So this is the youngest age demographic in the workforce today. And so this is fascinating information. Gen Z actually hates working from home. Gen Z hates working from home and wants to get back to the office. Right here in my hands. This is not a typo. Younger workers dislike the isolation and the lack of mentorship, and they're quitting remote jobs in favor of office gigs. According to a national work-from-home survey done by economists at 3 different universities, less than a quarter of 20-somethings who can do their jobs remotely want to do it full-time. Now, this is interesting. When you look at people in their 30s, it's 29% of employees in their 30s, 33% of workers in their 40s, and 41% in their 50s and early 60s. So here's what's really interesting. For 2 years on this program, I have been reporting news where because of COVID and the pandemic, you have a majority of workers want to work from home. The data here does not back this up. Now, I focus on work issues all the time, and every once in a while I'll take on an option, a story like this, and people will twist my words. They'll say, "Oh, Ken does it. Ken is not for remote work." It's not true. I've never said that. Never will say it. If your company's cool with it and you can win in remote work, fan-freaking-tastic. I'm a patriot first and foremost. I am about individual liberty first and foremost. So I don't really have a problem with remote work. What I do is I question, is it the right formula for most companies? Is it the right formula for you? I do question it, and I'm going to push back on that because this data is backing up why I am a little bit, let's call it, concerned about the viability of remote work long term. And this is it. This is fascinating, folks, because I'm a parent of Gen Z. I got 3 of them. They're teenagers. And you know this if you know anybody this age. These kids are glued to their freaking phones. Drives me nuts. Spend their whole freaking day on vacation. If I don't make them take the phone down, drives me crazy. All the time in the phones. They've grown up with phones. And we parents, when we went out to eat when they were 3 years old and we didn't want to deal with them not being designed to sit in a high chair, we gave them a phone or an iPad, and they're like, duh. And so that's the deal. And so they're on TikTok all the time. And so these are kids who have grown up with screens. And teenagers in general, I think this is probably, true for teenagers that were teens in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Teens in just natural habitat like to isolate at home, right? Alex, you got your teens always in their room. It's like their sanctuary, right? So I get it. I talk to parents all the time. Yeah, okay, I get it. All right. But now these teens are in the workforce, and you think these kids that like to be alone all the time, they're always on their stupid phones, and they communicate 90% of the time via text or chat or Snap or whatever, Tick and Talk and, all the things. You'd think, well, they would thrive in a remote environment. It's not true. They're craving community. Duh. We humans are relational. So fascinating. Generation Lab is a research firm asked college students what they would miss out on in an all-remote workplace. And the most commonly cited concern was a lack of community. More than 40% worried about fewer networking opportunities and less mentorship, and they're absolutely right. There is hope. There is hope. There is hope. This is very exciting. And these kids who have grown up with less community and more digitalization in their life, they are crying out for companionship and community. Leaders, pay attention.